Max Verstappen and Red Bull thoroughly dominated the Belgium Grand Prix. Max started the race in 14th place because of penalties, and by lap 12 of 44, he was in first place in the race, and by lap 44 of 44, at the very end of the race, he was 18 seconds ahead of Sergio Perez, who was in second in the race. There's not much more to be said, honestly. Max Verstappen and Red Bull absolutely dominated in Belgium. I can't say that enough. Charles Leclerc started in P15 for Ferrari. He also had penalties. He had to take an early pit stop on lap 4. That really set him back a lot. And pace-wise, in the end, Max Verstappen got first. He also got the fastest lap. Second was the other Red Bull driver, Sergio Perez. And third was the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. And fourth was George Russell. By the way, Carlos Sainz started on pole position, ended up third. Red Bull, that's how much more pace Red Bull had, is that Ferrari started on pole position and got third place in the race. Fifth place was Fernando Alonso. And sixth place was Charles Leclerc. Ferrari once again mismanaged Charles Leclerc. On lap 43 of 44, they pitted Leclerc to put on fresh tires. They wanted to put soft tires on so he could have a chance to go try and get fastest lap. The problem is, in taking a pit stop, he lost track position. He found himself behind Fernando Alonso. So he had to retake fifth place and pass Fernando Alonso. In doing so, he, A, didn't get fastest lap, but B, he got in trouble for speeding in the pit lane. And that gave him a penalty, and it ended up costing him fifth place in the race anyway. So by pitting him on lap 43 of 44, Ferrari actually not only didn't get fifth place, they also didn't get fastest lap. And so it's hilariously bad management by Ferrari. I'm getting really tired of making fun of Ferrari, honestly, because their poor strategy isn't even entertaining anymore. It's just really sad. It's getting to the point where, like, man, how much are these guys going to just blow chunks this year? It's also notable. First of all, let me just say one more time. Like, I can't imagine Ferrari fans feel good at all right now. And the way they've blown so many opportunities this year at Ferrari, I cannot imagine that Matteo Binotto is going to come back as team principal next year for Ferrari. Now, another notable thing happened early on in this race. Lewis Hamilton ran into Fernando Alonso. Lewis caught air. He damaged his car. He ended up having to drop out of the race. And if you watch the replay, Lewis 1,000% turned into Fernando Alonso. It was absolutely Lewis Hamilton's fault. And, Fernando Alonso gave a great quote. He said, "This guy only knows how to drive and start in first." Basically, there's a lot of bad blood between Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. And I'm here for it. I love it. They were once teammates in McLaren, and they go way back. They clearly don't like each other, and I really love it. I think Fernando Alonso is endlessly good for the sport of Formula One. He's got one of the more strong personalities from the grid, and I want more drivers like Fernando Alonso, honestly, who are kind of bullheaded and say what they feel and don't really care. And I like that old school style of Fernando Alonso, and the younger drivers, this younger generation of Formula One drivers, don't have that same edge, that same willingness to call it like they see it and really say how they feel like Fernando Alonso. Everyone else has got PR and they're tiptoeing and trying to be nice to each other, and Fernando Alonso just does not care, and I love that. By the way, Fernando Alonso, again, he recovered nicely. He got P5 in the race. It's so funny to me that Ferrari wasted what they had with Charles Leclerc and went from P5 all the way down to P6. This weekend, Red Bull simply dominated. They extended their lead on Ferrari in every way. It felt like Max and Red Bull, to me watching, I feel like this was the moment they really secured the world title. They still got a couple races to go before they actually, on paper, have secured their world title. But like I said, it's not over yet. It really isn't over yet in Formula One. But it also does feel over. There's not much competition left. I can't imagine Ferrari really coming back and resurging and taking the lead. I mean, I remember 11 races in at the halfway point, I said, well, Ferrari's got to turn it up now and make a change. And now we're coming off a summer break, and Ferrari still hasn't made a change. They haven't made progress. They're way behind Red Bull. They're way behind Max Verstappen. Red Bull leads the Constructors' Cup right now, the standings, by 118 points. Red Bull's in first with 475 points. Ferrari's in second with 357 points. Mercedes is third with 316 points. Alpine's in fourth with 115 points. And McLaren's in fifth with 95 points. Again, that gap between Red Bull and Ferrari keeps growing greater and greater with every race. And the driver standings, Max Verstappen is in first with 284 points. In second is Sergio Perez with 191 points. Charles Leclerc is now all the way down in third place with 186 points. Fourth is Carlos Sainz, the other Ferrari driver, with 171 points. And fifth is George Russell with 170 points. Like I said, at this point, it looks like Max and Red Bull are going to clinch their world titles well before the final race in Abu Dhabi in November. And I just, I don't know. We'll see how things go. But am I the only person who really feels like no one else has a shot right now at beating Max or Red Bull? It feels inevitable now. And in 4 or 5 races from now, we're saying, yep, they clinched it. It's over. Red Bull and Max won. It's disappointing because Ferrari, I thought, had a legitimate opportunity to challenge Red Bull this year, and Ferrari just squandered so many opportunities, and now it appears to be totally out of their grasp to make any kind of recovery and actually challenge Red Bull and Max Verstappen. By the way, the McLaren-Alpine rivalry continues. Alpine leads McLaren by 20 points. They are solidly in fourth place right now. They are also currently fighting over the contract rights for Oscar Piastri, who is a talented young driver. I'm going to look this up. Oscar Piastri. As I record right now, we are waiting for, this to be solved because they are fighting over whether he's going to drive for McLaren or have to drive for Alpine next year, basically. At the time of recording, I just looked it up. It is still not resolved, but a resolution will be announced probably within hours and maybe even minutes of this posting on podcast platforms and on YouTube. So keep your eye. If you're listening right now, you should probably go look up what's going to happen with Oscar Piastri, McLaren, and Alpine. I bet by now a announcement has been made by the time you're hearing this, and I'd like it. I think right now in Formula One, Red Bull's dominating. Ferrari's second, but they're an embarrassing second. It keeps getting their own way. Mercedes is going to be back. They're the third best team right now, and I think at some point they're going to resurge. It's nice to have another, outside of the top 3 in Formula One, it's nice to have a battle like McLaren and Alpine where there's drama, they don't like each other, they're clearly really close to each other competition-wise, and I think having another storyline in Formula One, 2 teams battling for basically the best of the rest in F1, that's really good, and I really like to see it. So keep your eye on this McLaren-Alpine rivalry as it develops, and whatever happens with Oscar Piastri, their young developmental driver who the 2 teams are fighting over and both want to have him drive for them this next year in Formula One.